What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the top 10 tips for beginners in World of Warcraft 2022. Thank you, as always, to my wonderful patrons who continue to support the channel. You're getting access as a patron to my wonderful guides on erosiumtv.com. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Make sure that you choose servers that are near to your region. So if you are in the EU or close to the EU, it may be a good idea to choose the servers which are located in the EU. This will mean that you will have a better connection to World of Warcraft and you won't have any lag or latency depending on your internet. Additionally, if you are in NA, go to NA, etc, etc. Playing on a high population realm will give you more opportunities to play with other World of Warcraft players and do more fun content. Now, if you're unsure as to which realm you should join, I highly suggest just double checking wowprogress.com/realms/rank/EU or NA. This website is so useful because it will show you the faction balances on that particular realm. So what I mean by faction balances, I mean Alliance and Horde. You have to choose between Alliance and Horde. You may as well choose a realm where it is balanced properly, such as 50-50, 50% Alliance, 50% Horde, or maybe even 40% Alliance, 60% Horde. That's still relatively good. Each race has a different racial ability, and some players choose races to do high-level specific content. However, the racial ability that comes with each individual race, the gains you get are really low, and I would say you're much better off choosing a race that you enjoy aesthetically, as this could be a character that you're playing for many years to come. Decide if you would like to be a tank, a damage dealer, or a healer. If you aren't sure of which you should go for, go with a class which has some flexibility with those roles, such as the Druid or even the Paladin. Remember, the choice of class is very important. Choosing a class that is right for you will give you more fun and flexibility to do what you want in World of Warcraft. If you enjoy being that tanky, beefy boy that can take it all the pounding and also dish out a fair whack of damage as well, then maybe the tank is for you. If you like being the person that keeps your whole team alive, you feel like you are unkillable, then maybe a healer is the right path for you. Maybe you like to be the glass cannon, the man, the myth, the legend who walks among players, glances at enemies, only for the enemies to wilter into dust. Maybe you're a damage dealer that likes to see the big numbers and destroy all of your foes with just a glance. Or maybe you just like to do a bit of everything. Maybe you want to be a tank one day. Maybe you want to be a healer. Maybe you want to be a DPS, which stands for damage per second. In that case, I would suggest going for a class which has that flexibility. Make sure you look through the classes to properly decide that. Now, here comes a question that I get asked probably about once every day, if not every 2 days. Erosium? The best way to level in World of Warcraft? Well, first of all, I have a really good guide on this, which will take you on my full route from level 1 to 60, all the quests that I complete, the areas I go to, everything like that, so make sure you check that video out. Well, first of all, as a new player, I highly suggest not rushing the process of leveling. Take your time. This is a really fun game. There's no need to rush all the way to level 60. There's plenty of things to do whilst you're leveling up. As you are a beginner, you will need to complete Exile's Reach when you first start World of Warcraft. Now, Exile's Reach is brilliant. It's a new player experience zone designed to give you the tutorial, to give you all of the tools that you need to learn how to play World of Warcraft. I absolutely love it, and they've just introduced it about a year ago, so it is truly a fantastic piece of content. Then following that, once you're level 10, you'll be out of Exile's reach, and you will head over to Battle for Azeroth. Now, you will only be required to play Battle for Azeroth the first time that you are leveling up. After you've leveled up for the first time, you'll be able to go to different zones, but that first time round, you will have to go to Battle for Azeroth. Once leveled up to 50, you will begin the quest to unlock the Shadowlands. It is worth noting you can go at level 48, but I highly suggest just wait until level 50 and then going to the Shadowlands. The fastest and the best way truly is to do quests. If you want to level up fast, just quest. It really is the most efficient, effective way to level up, by far, easily the fastest way. I've leveled many characters. I have actually got 50 characters on my account. Every time I make a new character, I have to delete an old character. And I can tell you, for real, the fastest way to level up is questing. I personally love to use the add-on Azeroth Autopilot, as this just makes things a little bit more automated, but it is worth noting that as a new player using that add-on, it will expect you to go to zones which you aren't naturally going to want to go to, being that you have to go to Battle for Azeroth first. But once you've done your first playthrough, I highly suggest using that add-on. Now, that being said, if you aren't just going for the fastest way to level and you actually want to have a bit of fun, I highly suggest pressing I and looking in the Dungeon Finder to join a group and do some dungeons. This is really fun and gets your toes dipped into the social aspect of World of Warcraft. You're not just there to be a solo player, you can also join groups and play with others to defeat powerful mobs in dungeons. And don't worry, once you join a dungeon group, it will teleport you to the dungeon, which is really useful. Ultimately, if you don't want to do that and you want to dominate other players in epic battles, then join some battlegrounds. Press H to open up the battlegrounds queue and join the battlegrounds like that. Key bindings. Key bindings are a really important part of World of Warcraft, and I can really tell you this from the bottom of my heart. You need to learn key bindings right from the start. This is important because if you don't use it from the start, you'll develop really unhealthy, bad habits to have in World of Warcraft that could limit your gameplay when you hit level 60 or whichever maximum level there is. Now, my dad is 60 years old and he uses key bindings, no worries at all. So if he can do it, anyone could do it. Yes, I play World of Warcraft with my dad. I know, it's awesome. Key bindings are super important because when you are moving around with your character, if you're trying to move around and you're just holding down the forward key, then turning with your keyboard, this is going to be super slow. The reason we use keybinds is we can hold the W key to move forward, and then we can hold right click down with our mouse and use that to turn us in a much quicker, much more efficient, effective way. This is really important when you hit level 60 because World of Warcraft is quite a fast-paced game at level 60, and there are a lot of mechanics that you want to be able to move out of. And when I say mechanics, I'm talking like damage that is coming towards you and it's going to put a circle on the ground and you've got to move out that circle quickly, or it's going to do a huge amount of damage to you and potentially kill your character. It's worth getting used to moving with your keyboard and your mouse right from the get-go. And additionally, it's also worth learning your abilities and what numbers, what keybinds you're using for your abilities. Now, whilst you are doing your key bindings, press escape and then you will see straight away, you can see the key bindings button there. Simply click that and then change your key bindings to whatever it is you want. You don't have to just use numbers, you can change them to whatever it is you want, and maybe in the future you might even want an add-on to make this a bit easier. Additionally, whilst you're here, make sure when you're pressing escape, you click interface, you click controls, and you click auto loot. This will mean that you don't have to click on each individual item when you're looting mobs. Makes it so much easier and so much quicker. Mount riding. You're probably seen people riding all over the place on these epic, cool looking mounts, and you're probably thinking, man, I really want one of those mounts. How do I get one? Well, that's great because level 20, you can get your very first mount, and this is a ground mount. You can find this in any of your faction cities, whether you're Alliance or Horde. It's pretty easy to find them. You will get a quest at level 20 for this as well. At level 30, you will learn how to fly, which is going to be absolutely epic, and you guys will absolutely love exploring the world from the air. It makes farming so much easier. Now, once you hit level 40, you will get a faster form of flying, so you'll fly at double the speed. Once you've reached level 60, there are a few different forms of gameplay, and I think it's important as some of my top tips cover some of those forms of gameplay. Mythic Plus is one of them. When you reach level 60, for you to get involved in Mythic Plus, you first need to just do dungeons and understand how the dungeons work. To join a dungeon, you can simply press I and then queue up for a dungeon. Now at level 60, Mythic Plus are effectively a harder version of those dungeons that you've been doing in Shadowlands. They're called Mythic Plus because they have a mythic keystone which assigns their level of difficulty, and each time you complete a new level of difficulty, you'll be given a higher level of keystone for any of the dungeons within Shadowlands. Now, the reason you want to do these is because the higher level mythic keystone you do, the better gear you can get. And therefore, if you really enjoy doing dungeons with just a group of 5 people as a whole, then that will be a perfect way for you to gear up and have a good time in World of Warcraft. PvP, player versus player. Another form of gameplay is PvP, battlegrounds and arenas. If you are new or a casual player, there are normal battlegrounds and arenas that you can kind of just duke it out with people. No real rating is kind of determined from that. But if you're really wanting to get the best gear and dominate in all PvP, then you really need to go into rated battlegrounds or rated arenas. And this is where you can fight people of the same rating as you and potentially earn some gear if you get a high enough rating. The higher the rating, the better the gear that you can earn yourself in arenas. This gameplay is for, I've got to say, the more competitive players typically. So if you personally aren't a super competitive person, it might be more advantageous for you to focus on another form of gameplay. However, if you are, this will be perfect and right up your street. Raiding. Another form of gameplay for you at level 60 is raiding. Every new official patch of World of Warcraft, there is a new raid, a new gear that you can get from it. Raid groups are groups of 10 players who go into a large area, which is typically called just, the raid, to fight difficult bosses with difficult mechanics for you to learn how to avoid while in combat. Now, when I say mechanics, this could be a large circle placed on the floor by the boss that you have to move out of quickly before, it does a huge amount of damage to you. It might even be a circle you have to move into, who knows, on the mechanic. It's all quite exciting and quite fun. And if you do Mythic Plus, it might be a perfect starting step for you to get into doing raiding as well. There are 4 casual and new players looking for raid, and looking for raid can be joined just like a dungeon. Just press I and simply sign up. Now, looking for raid will give you your first taster of that raid at a much lower difficulty, so everyone, even casuals and new players alike, can experience that raid. However, if you wish to get into a higher level of that raid where you're getting higher gear, better gear, then you need to sign up for a higher version of that raid, or such as heroic, or even such as mythic, and each difficulty requires a higher item level. You can check your item level by simply pressing C. This is where it's very advantageous to players to join up to a guild so that they have guildies that they can go and do raids or Mythic Plus or even battlegrounds with. At level 60, you will need to choose a covenant. It's worth trialing each of these covenants to see what gear you will have from the campaigns, and to see what abilities they offer as well, as this really changes the outcome and effect that your player has. And I highly suggest that you are happy with your decision, so I would really just play around with this and figure it out. If you're really struggling and you're just not sure, check out Wowhead or Icy Veins for further information on this. It is worth noting that this is just a level 60 system. You hit level 60 in the past. However, your first time playing, you'll only access this when you get to level 60. You will have zone specific, abilities based, whilst you're leveling. However, you'll get full access to all the covenants when you hit level 60. And covenants are effectively just areas and factions that you're joining as a level 60 to get something new with your character that changes how your character works in combat and how it even moves in combat. It's very, very fun. Each one has a completely different campaign, and as a result you can really experience them on any of them. Bonus tip: when you are level 60, there are 2 zones out at the moment for you to explore. This is Corthia and Zereth Mortis. Both of these zones have a variety of different rare special elite mobs that you can kill and quests that you complete for research or anything like that. This will eventually allow you to create mounts themselves. It's a perfect zone for you to collect awesome new items, get yourself geared up initially so you can get all your starter gear all the way up, and you can also get some really cool looking stuff. You can even make quite a bit of gold in these zones. So get farming, get doing these epic zones. And there we have it, my friends. I really hope that this video helped you in some way, shape or form, whether you are a beginner or a pro coming back to the basics. I really hope there was something in there for you. If you did like it, smash the like button and click subscribe. Leave your comments in the section below if you've got any questions or just general statements. Stick them in there. It always helps the video out, and it lets me know that you're interested in seeing this type of stuff. If you really like me and you really like my content and want to see more of it, then feel free to check out my Patreon, where you can get access to my super secret World of Warcraft gold guides on erosiumtv.com, or consider joining the Discord, which is the best World of Warcraft community Discord in the history of mankind. Thanks so much for watching. This is Erosium, out.